Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. In today's video, I want to be talking about Epic's decision to remove legacy settings completely from the game. Now, this is a huge change, especially for those guys who play on controller, because there is a ton of players who still play on legacy settings, and legacy settings have been the OG settings of Fortnite, and that's also the settings that have an L2 spam, which a lot of people had to complain about, which was kind of controversial. So I want to give you guys my full opinion of this update. As a controller player, I just want to give my opinion, show you guys exactly what I'm thinking, and as well I'm going to show you guys some settings that you should be looking at if you're looking to change to either exponential or linear, because legacy settings do come out of the game next week. And real quick before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks every single week, and if you guys want to be a part of this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And lastly, comment down below either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And also, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go down to the bottom, click on support a creator, type in my code. My creator code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I wanted to be talking about the legacy settings that are going to be taken out of the game. So here I have them on. So they actually come out of the game next week. So here in the legacy settings, these are going to be completely removed at probably the later end of next week. I'm not sure exactly the day. I think it's like the 14th maybe, I don't know, sometime late next week is when they're taking out these settings completely, which is a huge change because these are the OG settings that have been in the game since the game has first came out. And with these settings, that's the settings that you have, kind of the L2 spam, the auto rotation, the lock on, whatever you want to call it, the aimbot that these keybot and mouse players they like to call it, because when you're spamming left trigger, it actually doesn't let you aim extremely accurately. And there's also a cooldown with the L2, which a lot of these keybot players don't actually talk about because they have no idea what they're talking about. Like, when I spam L2, you don't actually just lock onto the other player, which a lot of these keybot players think you do. But I wanted to give you guys my opinion and also show you guys some settings that you can change to, I guess, when you start switching to linear exponential, because if you are not currently already on legacy or exponential, you might as well just switch now, just because legacy is going to be at the game next week, so you might as well just change, because you're not going to be, I guess, if you want to enjoy the last week of L2 spam, then I would say, go for it. And if you want to enjoy your L2 spamming these keybots, watching them rage, just go ahead and get yourself a killing Twitch streamers while spamming L2 on my legacy setting. Whatever the case may be, just go for it. Why not? There's one more week of L2 spam. So here I'm going to give you guys my quick opinion on this. I mean, personally, if you guys know, I play on linear settings, so I don't play on legacy anymore. I used to play for it for the longest time. And also when linear came out, I still played on legacy for quite a bit longer. But legacy still is a very good setting to use. And most competitive players, from what I've seen, a lot of competitive players who play this game for money, things like that, they do play on legacy settings because in-game is very, very strong on legacy settings, because you're able to aim 10 times better than you are on linear settings from range. So a lot of players who play competitive, I know, like Unknown Army, all those guys who play these tournaments non-stop, all of them use legacy settings because it is very, very good for beaming down other players at the end of the game. But overall, I do feel like linear is the best setting for a pub player, someone who plays aggressive but just a little bit of long range, because the long range is a lot worse on linear as opposed to legacy, but you can make it work with a few setting changes. But like I said, most people or most competitive players are going to be on legacy settings. So this is going to be a huge change for those competitive players and for those players who really did grind out on legacy settings. Now, here's just give you my completely honest opinion, and you guys know exactly what's coming, right? So they're going to take out the legacy settings probably, like I said, into next week. I don't know the exact day. I probably have to look it back up. I just got a little bit lazy when I made this video, so I didn't feel like looking the exact date, but it's sometime next week. And so the L2 spam is probably the number one thing that these keybot players have been really complaining about every single day for the past, I can't even remember the last time they complained about. Probably when controller players actually got decent settings to where they can actually build, they can actually shoot, aim, and like they had basically, controller players had a chance. That's when they started complaining about aim assist. It's aimbot, it's just you can shoot through walls, this and that, whatever the case may be. They're just saying whatever they want to. But I guarantee you, I'd say it a week time, maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks is kind of generous, but I give it 1 week time before these keybot players. So that, like I said, they were complaining about L2 spam for the longest time. It's finally coming out of the game, and I guarantee you, after 1 week, they are still going to be complaining about aim assist. I'm telling you, these keybot players are the equivalent of a bunch of feminists, right? Like, you give them everything they ask for, and they're still not happy. I'm telling you guys. As soon as L2 comes out of the game, I guarantee it, these keybot players will still complain about aim assist. I guarantee it. Because with the linear aim assist that everyone has to change to, either you play on linear or exponential, but mostly I would say probably 80% of the players are going to be on linear settings. On linear settings, the hipfire, it's kind of hard unless you really experience it firsthand, but when I'm right next to the other player, linear settings, it's very, very strong close range when it comes to aiming, meaning that what's going to happen now is these keybot players, right, they think that, they're not going to get beamed from long range as much. They're all happy this and that. They don't understand that on linear settings, because, they're all ignorant, they don't understand exactly how aim assist works. On linear settings, what's going to happen is the meta is going to change, right? If you had some people playing on Legacy, those are the control players who play a little bit slower, a little bit more laid back. But on linear settings, you got to understand that the aim assist close range is extremely OP, meaning that you're going to have every single game countless W keying, drum gun spamming, minigun running, controller players all over the place. And I'm telling you, the SMG spam for this season is going to be real because there's no traps anymore, right? So you're going to have controller players in every single lobby be extremely aggressive, just W keying in your box, just spraying and praying. And I guarantee it's going to piss off these keybot players. I guarantee it. Because they thought that it was really annoying to get beamed from range from an L2 controller player. They don't understand what it's like. They have never experienced a linear controller player with a drum gun. Trust me, for those guys who play on linear settings and ever use the drum gun in this game, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a laser, it is extremely overpowered, and I guarantee a linear controller player with a drum gun will piss off 10 times as many keybot players as a player with a L2 aim assist with like a scar or something. I guarantee it. So the meta is going to be changed. It's going to be a lot of W key and controller players, people just spraying and praying with the SMGs. I guarantee you that's going to be the meta, and keybot players are going to be upset. They're going to cry aim assist, and then try to have that nerfed as well. But I mean, if they're going to take out the legacy aim assist, I mean, can I get some equality and have them take out the scroll wheel reset? Can we take out the 10,000 keybinds that they have? Can we get some equality here? You know what I'm saying? But whatever, they're not going to do that. So it's just kind of how it is. And so as far as the settings, the two settings I would change if you guys are just not switching to linear or legacy, I'll probably make a full video on it next week when it fully comes out. But the two things I would change if you're first switching, you're first switching to linear or exponential, then I would play on a really, really low aiming down sensitivity because long range is a lot more difficult. So I play on 8%. You really don't have to go that low, but I would not go anywhere above like a 13, I would say 14 tops. I would say if you're first switching to linear, do not go above like a 13 or 14. Like, you do not want to go that high because it's going to be a lot more difficult to aim from long range than what you're used to. Of course, over time you're going to get used to it, but I would recommend playing on the low end as far as your aim down sight sensitivity. And the other thing I would put on as well is going to be look dampening time. Now this kind of adds like an extra dead zone, so the higher it is, the slower your movement is. In a way, it's kind of difficult to really explain. If you guys just go into creative or whatever and switch your settings, you guys instantly feel what I'm talking about, and it kind of gives you an extra dead zone. So if you're first switching, you probably want to play maybe like an 18% look dampening time to try to get your movement down. Of course, it's still going to feel weird, you're still going to have that linear feel, but it is going to slow your movement down just a little bit to make aiming just a little bit better, especially for those guys who just changed. Because I remember my first time changing from legacy to linear, I mean, my aim was all over the place. I was just running all awkwardly, and it was just kind of a mess for at least the first week or two. So it will take a little bit of time for those guys to, switch your settings and get used to everything how it is. But anyways, guys, that's just my opinion on the aim assist change. Of course, these keybot players are still going to complain about it. It's really not going to change much. And also the polls I did on my channel, most people on Fortnite do play on linear settings, but when I mentioned earlier, a lot of people who play competitive did play on legacy. So anyways, guys, that's just my opinion. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys get notified for each and every new video. And alright, guys, I'll see you next video.